story appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is a story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello there and welcome to CoreTV Primetime News. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. In our major story, President Goodluck Jonathan storms Lagos to canvass support for his second term bid. Reviews assassination attempt on his life by jailed Mende leader Henry Oka. Also in this program, APC, PDP trade words over oil sector reforms ahead 2015 elections. United States rules out disintegration of Nigeria in 2015. Outside Nigeria, strong currents and poor visibility prevent recovery of the tail of crashed Air Asia plane. We'll begin in Lagos tonight, where President Goodluck Jonathan has for the first time revealed the real reason why Mende leader Henry Oka is being detained in South Africa. The president, who kicked off his campaign in Lagos for next month's presidential election under the PDP platform, accuses Oka of attempting to assassinate him in Abuja. He also faulted the APC presidential candidate Muhammadu Buhari for raising issues without preferring solutions in his ongoing campaigns. He added that some past leaders, including Buhari, plunged the nation into darkness. Oluwaseyi Adegoke was at the campaign rally and filed in this report.
The Tafawa Balewa Square venue of the campaign rally was filled to capacity as party chieftains, PDP governors and governorship candidates, as well as party faithful and supporters across the country, arrived early enough to take their seats for the occasion. The rally featured notable Nollywood stars who took turns at the podium to canvass support for Jonathan. They were followed thereafter by some PDP governors and the party's chieftains in the southwest, who also enjoined Nigerians to vote Jonathan and the PDP in the coming elections.
We will not settle for a president with less than a university degree. The imminent return for another 4 years of the president is inevitable. The president, Goodluck Jonathan, will return.
We have a candidate that does not even campaign with his wife or with any woman. And we have another candidate, our own candidate, that has said 35% for women. Women have never had it so good.
The Vice President Namadi Sambo and PDP Chairman Adamu Muazu assure Nigerians of the continuation of Jonathan's transformation agenda, adding that the PDP is the right choice for Nigerians. Speaking on behalf of all parties' governorship candidates across Nigeria, after being presented with their flags, Jimmy Agbaje of Lagos PDP vows that all of them will win in their various states.
I want to assure that it is not just winning our own elections, but we guarantee that come February 14, 2015, the next president for Nigeria will be President Goodluck Jonathan.
The man of the moment, President Jonathan, did not mince words as he took the opposition as well as some past leaderships of the country to cleaners. He accused them, especially the APC presidential candidate, of creating problems for the country as a military ruler, which have subsisted till date.
And somebody who wakes up and tells young people of 23 years old that he wants to fight insecurity, ask him, when he was the head of government, did he buy one rifle for a Nigerian soldier? These people did not buy anything for the Nigerian soldier. They refuse to equip them. Everything dead, no attack helicopters, no nothing. You don't just wake up and enter the street and arrest one person and lock up and show on television and say you're fighting corruption. If they have succeeded in fighting corruption, corruption wouldn't have been with us today.
Jonathan, for the first time, among other reasons, revealed why leader of the MEND, Henry Oka, is languishing in a South African prison. 1st
October 2010, when we were to celebrate our independence, our golden year of 50 years of independence, Oka was procured by some Nigerians to assassinate me. And Oka bombed Abuja. The attempt was to assassinate me, but intelligence investigation from South African intelligence system and Nigerian intelligence system roped him in that plan to assassinate me, and is now in jail in South Africa, and they say men dump Jonathan.
Lucky to have escaped the assassin's bullet, Jonathan may need more luck if he is to win the forthcoming presidential election, as his major contender, Muhammadu Buhari, has also intensified his campaign across the country. Oluwaseyi Adegoke, CoreTV News, Lagos.
While the presidency has advised the presidential candidate of the APC, Muhammadu Buhari, to disregard the endorsement he recently received from the Movement for the Emancipation of the Niger Delta, MEND. This, according to the presidential spokesman, Reuben Abati, is because the people of Niger Delta and other Nigerians are with his principle. He said in a statement that all the claims made by MEND in endorsing Buhari were baseless and deliberately styled to denigrate President Jonathan. Abati described the group as the renegade faction of MEND, which has continued with its personal vendetta against the president in spite of the conviction of Henry Oka, its leader. And despite criticisms trailing its endorsement of the All Progressives Congress presidential candidate Muhammadu Buhari for the February 2015 presidential election, the Movement for the Emancipation of the Niger Delta has insisted that it will support the APC flag bearer. MEND had on Tuesday declared that it would support Buhari for presidential poll, alleging that President Goodluck Jonathan had not lived up to the expectation of Nigerians. The position did not go down well with the People's Democratic Party and the Ijaw Youth Council. The PDP, through its National Publicity Secretary Olisa Metu, queried APC's link with MEND, while the Ijaw Youth Council, through its Publicity Secretary Eric Omari, reportedly described MEND as a ghost. But MEND, in a statement by its spokesman Jomo Gbomo on Thursday via email, described Metu's position on its support for Buhari as callous and irresponsible. The Niger Delta militant group explained that the reaction of the PDP further confirmed its views about Jonathan's inept government. It described Buhari as the man that will lead Nigeria out of its state of calamity in the hand of the current leadership. And the All Progressives Congress says it will transform the nation's oil and gas sector within its first 12 months in office if it emerges victorious at the February 14 presidential polls. The party's spokesman, Lai Mohammed, made this promise at the second series of the Nigerian political parties' discussion in Abuja. But the ruling party has described such claims as empty promises, as Basi Aye reports.
We are going to institute merit-based affirmative action in employment.
This is the second in a series of political discourse in the run-up to next month's election. It is a platform created by the civil society to allow Nigeria's leading political parties present their manifestos and approaches towards addressing issues in the key sectors of the economy. Here, the discussions is centered around the oil and gas sector, but it seems the opposition is better prepared. Its spokesman was on hand to give detailed accounts of its intervention, especially on the petroleum industry bill.
I would pledge here that within the first 12 months of being in power, we shall implement branch and root reform in the oil and gas industry. We are going to pass into law the PIB, not the one before them now, because we don't even know what the contents, because we don't know what the contents are. And we want Nigerians to hold us to account if within 12 months we do not, keep this promise.
He also revealed that his party would work towards cutting the NNPC to size, as well as reducing the powers of the petroleum minister, amongst others.
One mistake we will not make, which this present government is making, is that they are mixing the commercial aspect of this industry, with the operation aspect. And I'll tell you why. Today, who collects revenue from oil? It is the federal revenue. They don't know how much it costs for 1 barrel of crude to produce. So what is based on the taxation? Now, but this is why we say, you let NNPC face operation. Let have an independent regulatory body, and then we have a commercial body that can deal with all these issues.
Then came the turn of the ruling party PDP, whose representative chose to lighten the mood of the gathering. He, however, maintained that the party is keen on consolidating ongoing programs and policies.
You can see that the opposition don't have a plan. All they're saying is when they get there, they start looking for us. Now we are going to build on what... No, you can't. We already do have a performance. We already have a mindset. We already have a paper. Let me tell you one small pointer. Obasanjo, everything he did it in his second term. What we promise you is all the suppositions and suggestions you've seen, we shall give bulletproof expression to the minute we come in. No, we don't even need any 12 months. Within 6 months, you will see
Although both individuals tried their best to convince the audience and Nigerians at large, many, especially civil society groups, remain in doubt of the party's intentions. This, according to them, is because they have not presented very clear positions of their parties on the mainstay of the Nigerian economy. Basiaye, CoreTV News, Abuja.
The chairman, Buhari Campaign Organization in Adamawa State, Ibrahim Waziri, on Thursday said the 3 million naira worth of Buhari's scratch cards supplied to the state had been exhausted in less than 24 hours. Waziri said this while briefing journalists on the scarcity of the cards in Yola. Waziri said as soon as the cards arrive, the organization will announce the designated selling points for interested members of the public to buy. He said the price of the cards ranges from 100 naira to 10,000 naira. He also added that the cards are being sold to generate campaign funds for the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Muhammadu Buhari. The Independent National Electoral Commission says it has distributed over 38 million out of 54,341,000 permanent voter cards as of January 7, 2015. This, according to the Commission, represents 71.3% of the permanent voters' card received across the country. Chief Press Secretary to INEC Chairman Kayode Idowu said in a statement that 15,567 PVCs are yet to be collected across the country. This, it says, is contrary to reports in some newspapers that PVC distribution is skewed in favor of states in northern Nigeria. A breakdown of the list shows that Jigawa State recorded the highest rate of PVC collection with 94%, while more than half of eligible voters in the FCT are yet to collect their cards. In Lagos State, where government officials and residents have been critical of INEC, the Commission says 53% or slightly over 2 million registered voters have picked up their cards, while about 1.8 million cards are yet to be distributed. The Commission did not provide any figure for Borno State, but noted that the figure released are not final because the distribution of PVCs will continue until a few days to the first election. Now here's the breakdown released by INEC. Civil rights activists have also expressed grave concerns over the poor distribution of permanent voter cards across the country. The activists, who converged on Abuja on the platform of Say No campaign, urged the Independent National Electoral Commission to move fast to save the situation. They also urged members of the political class to guard their utterances during campaigns.
Credible elections are predicated on one fact, which is the credibility of the voters' register. If the voters' register or its credibility is called to question, it impugns on the credibility of the elections generally. And we are particularly concerned on how INEC has managed the continuous voter registration process and the PVC distribution exercise. As much as INEC has come up to say that they are sufficiently ready for the February 14th and 28th polls, we are deeply concerned that the indicators that we see do not portray the Commission as being prepared for February 14th and February 28th elections. However, as much as we support the use of card readers, we are also worried, first, with the procurement of these card readers. Whilst the Commission claims that these card readers are already on ground, reports reaching Say No campaign clearly shows that all the card readers are not yet on ground for use in February polls.
In terms of actually seeking information from INEC, for example, or holding INEC to account, it is the duty of every citizen to be able to do that. And that's just the message that we are giving to Nigerian citizens, that they should do this and work in that manner. And we have said that, well, for example, we are going to be organizing rallies. We have also said that Nigerians should stay and protect their votes and the rest of that. But we have said, everything that we have said is that this should be done in a non-violent manner and in a manner that even your opponents would consider that you are being responsible.
Meanwhile, the criticisms that have trailed the Independent National Electoral Commission over the distribution of permanent voter cards in Lagos appear not over. This time, the Director General of the campaign organization of the Lagos APC governorship candidate Akinwumi Ambode is challenging INEC to live up to its expectation if the 2015 elections is to be deemed successful. Funsho Ologunde says the Independent National Electoral Commission must do better in its distribution of the PVCs to avoid causing chaos. Ologunde added that the failure of the electoral umpire to provide security features on the voter cards is a source of major concern.
With the president coming out to say what he said yesterday, it's an indication of what lies in the offing. I believe and insist that a few days to the elections, the INEC is going to tell the whole world that we will not need the PVCs to take part or to be able to vote. Because even their card readers, where are the card readers they want to use? They are not prepared. INEC is not prepared. They have only engaged in a waste of our resources to produce PVCs that do not even have the essential ingredient of a hologram.
He rubbishes a recent allegation by the Department of State Security that his party wants to hack into INEC's database.
Because all that they are saying is absolute nonsense. There's no sense in it. But they must justify why they invaded. Because we have taken them to court, and what they are trying to do is to create a reason to justify before the law court why they violated the sanctity of our computer houses.
Funsho Ologunde, the Director General of the Lagos APC governorship candidate Akinwumi Ambode, electoral campaigns. Well, unlike its position, the People's Democratic Party says it has been vindicated by the findings of the Department of State Services regarding the alleged plot of the All Progressives Congress to compromise the electoral process by hacking into the database of the Independent National Electoral Commission. Although APC already described the findings as hogwash, spokesman of PDP, Olisa Metu, argued that Nigerians and the international community could now see that his party was not making mere allegations when it raised the alarm that the opposition was cloning INEC's permanent voter cards and employing technologies to hack into the Commission's database. The PDP spokesman says now that APC have been exposed, the world can see that it's indeed a party of criminals in desperate quest for power. He added that it's shocking that while other parties are working hard to win votes, the APC was busy procuring hacking equipment and training their members on how to subvert the will of the people and steal their mandate. Metu urged security agencies not to rest on their oars and charged INEC to ensure that it was not compromised in what he described as crime against the Nigerian state and its people. You're on to CoreTV Primetime News. We'll take our first break now, and I'll be back with more stories. Don't go away.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Professor.
My former students.
Happy birthday.
Every day, life is made better by the moments of surprise we create for others and for ourselves. Be better. Surprise someone this season and make sure to text 11 to 400 to get a surprise from MTN. MTN, everywhere you go.
Hi. Daddy. Look.
We should know better.
Do the right thing. Let's change the way we think.
Welcome back. You're on to CoreTV Primetime News. If you just joined us, a quick reminder of our top stars. President Goodluck Jonathan storms Lagos to canvass support for a second-term bid, reviews assassination attempt on his life by jailed MEND leader Henry Oka. APC, PDP trade words over oil sector reforms ahead 2015 elections. And United States rules out disintegration of Nigeria in 2015. You can also get all of our top stories on any of our social media platforms. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/CoreTV News. Our Twitter handle is at CoreTV News NJ. We're streaming live on YouTube. It's youtube.com/CoreTV, space and news. As the 2015 general elections draw near, relevant agencies under the auspices of the Interagencies Consultative Forum for General Elections in Ekiti State, spearheaded by the Ekiti State Police Command, meet in Ado-Ekiti, the state capital, to exchange ideas for a smooth conduct of the polls. This is said to be imperative in achieving the feats recorded at the June 21, 2014 governorship poll in the state. Rashid has more.
With the drums of political campaigns gaining momentum daily across the country, agencies saddled with the smooth conduct of the polls are leaving no stone unturned at assuring safe conduct of the elections in Ekiti State. At a conference in Ado-Ekiti featuring security agencies and political players, heads of security apparatus took turns to rub minds with stakeholders on the need to play according to the rules.
We can't force people to vote. Politics is for service, development and contribution. You can't force the people to vote for you. It is your campaign and manifesto that will convene the people.
Political parties at the forum expressed their readiness for cooperation, but tasked INEC and the police on level playing field during the poll.
We promise a level playing field for everybody. I appeal to you to maintain this.
If you talk to us, we want you to look inwards as well and ensure that within your rank and file that you play it the way it's supposed to be played.
The police and the Independent National Electoral Commission, however, promise a stellar performance, but not without a caution for the politician.
Agencies too have their men. We have discussed. Almost 90% of their strength will be utilized for the election. And I think we should not entertain any fear concerning that.
Regarding the political class, we are pleading with them to ensure that we replicate and even improve on our conduct as we did during the June 21 governorship election, so that Ekiti election will be the most peaceful and the most successful.
Political observers say the coming together of stakeholders at this critical period will enhance smooth conduct of elections next month. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado-Ekiti.
The United States government has said there are no signs that Nigeria would disintegrate before, during or after the February general elections. While explaining that Nigeria is facing big challenges, no doubt, the U.S. ambassador to the country, James Ntwiso, stated that the problems at stake were surmountable. According to the American envoy, Nigerians should throw out of the window the idea from some think tank or someone outside the U.S. government stating that Nigeria would fall apart in 2015. Ntwiso spoke in Lagos on Thursday during an interactive session with journalists on the recent donation of a U.S. naval ship christened NNS Okpabana to the Nigerian Navy. Ntwiso added that if the federal government did what needs to be done in the coming years, especially as pertaining to security, corruption, among others, the future of Nigeria would be very bright. He debunked the insinuation that the President Barack Obama administration has imposed an arms embargo on Nigeria following the reported refusal of the American government to sell Cobra helicopters to the federal government to prosecute the ongoing war against terrorism. Citing human rights consideration for the development, Ntwiso hinted that a U.S. diplomatic mission to Nigeria was still talking about a number of other types of equipment and different types of helicopters that might be more appropriate for the Nigerian military services. Meanwhile, the Nigerian authorities have confirmed that troops are at present engaging Boko Haram insurgents in Baga with a view to recapturing the fishing town on the fringes of Lake Chad. This comes against the backdrop of reports of alleged atrocities by insurgents in the strategic northeast Nigerian town. Coordinator of the National Information Center, Michael Mary, said at a press briefing in Abuja that the situation in the town is improving. He, however, refused to shed more light on developments in Baga on the grounds that military operations are still ongoing.
On the situation in Baga, while confirming the presence of Boko Haram terrorists in some locations in Yobe, Adamawa, and Borno states, we wish to inform you that the situation in Baga is gradually improving since the last attack on the town. Security forces are working hard to ensure the full liberation of the strategic town and other places close to it.
As you are aware, as we've always said, full disclosures of military operations are best not discussed publicly. Equally, government is constantly reviewing the situation with regards to the fight against insurgency in order to improve logistics requirement and support for the security forces to enable the defeat of the insurgents. Officers are being trained and retrained continuously to upgrade their skills and capacity, while increased surveillance, intelligence sharing, and synergy are being enhanced. Also, and evidently so, consultations with security chiefs, serving and retired, traditional rulers, community leaders, and other critical stakeholders with a view to bringing their varied experiences to bear on the fight against insurgency are ongoing. We want to encourage all well-meaning Nigerians and leaders to emulate friendly countries who have thrown their weight behind Nigeria in this fight. The path of patriotism and honor is not to wait until we get into government before we contribute to serve or save the lives of our citizens.
The federal government says there was never a time that Nigeria's foreign reserves rose to $67 billion, contrary to claims made by former President Olusegun Obasanjo. The former president had alleged that the Jonathan administration squandered about $30 million for the from the nation's savings. But the government, through the Minister of Finance, says anyone familiar with foreign reserves management should know that the federal government cannot dip its hands into it at will. It explained in a statement that the management of external reserves was one of the statutory mandates of the Central Bank of Nigeria since the CBN Act of 2007 went into operation. The Finance Ministry noted that as of May 2007, Nigeria's gross reserves stood at $43.13 billion, comprising the CBN external reserves of $31.5 billion, $9.43 billion in the excess crude account, and $2.18 billion in the federal government savings. It said that the reserves were, among others, used to settle foreign currency obligations, including the importation of equipment for the power sector. An Abuja-based development economist and financial analyst, Odilim Egwegare, says it's not possible for any president to mismanage Nigeria's foreign reserves under the CBN Act of 2007. He told journalists that former President Olusegun Obasanjo should have known that the central bank solely manages the foreign reserves account. The finance analyst noted that if any money is missing from the account, all CBN governors since 2007 should be the ones to explain what happened to the funds kept in their custody.
So what I'm telling you is in 2007, it's practically impossible. There's no way Jonathan should have done that without asking the central bank to give him that money. The central bank will not give him that money without providing the Naira equivalent, because it's the dollar they use in defending the Naira. So, and bear in mind that also, it was not Jonathan that appointed Sanusi, who until recently was the central bank governor. So I think that Obasanjo was confusing matters, because if he said that the Jonathan appointed MFL, or Yar'Adua appointed Sanusi, and these governors mismanaged our foreign reserves, it makes sense to me. Where Obasanjo could have made sense would have been to say that when oil price was falling, we would have devalued Naira quickly so that to discourage the capital flight, people needing dollar in exchange of Naira and taken out of the country. But that policy is not in the hand.
We'll take another break and I'll return with business, sports, and stories outside Nigeria. Stay with us.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Professor.
my former students.
Happy birthday.
Every day, life is made better by the moments of surprise we create for others and for ourselves. Be better. Surprise someone this season and make sure to text 11 to 400 to get a surprise from MTN.
MTN, everywhere you go.
On Business Tonight, the Debt Management Office DMO on Thursday said it will raise 73 billion naira worth of bonds in 3 categories on January 14. According to the DMO, the 3 categories of bonds are 20 years, 10 years, and 5 years bonds. The 3 bonds would be issued in 24 and 25 billion naira, respectively. The bonds would mature in April 2017, July 2034 and March 2024 respectively. The bonds would open in 12.15%, 14.20% and 15.10% respectively. It added the settlement date for the 3 bonds would be on January 16th. Now let's join Sabina Izoku for details from the stock market exchange.
CoreTV News Stock Market Report is brought to you by MTN.
MTN, everywhere you go.
Hello there and welcome to the Stock Market Report segment with me, Sabina Izoku. The equities market on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange closed on a negative note today as all shares index depreciated by 2.40% to close at 30,420.54 basis points. Market capitalization decreased in the same manner to close at 10.07 trillion naira. And all a total volume of 454 million units of shares valued at 4.4 billion naira exchanged in 4,860 deals. Total the gainers chart to close at 152 naira 13 kobo with a gain of 5 naira 62 kobo, followed by Nigerian Breweries, Capstone, West African Production Company and International Breweries. On the flip side, Nestle topped the chart trailed by Seplat Oil, Guinness, 7-Up and Dangote Cement. Meanwhile, First City Merchant Bank topped the traders chart, followed by Equitrans National Incorporation, Access Bank, Zenith Bank, and Transcorp. Just before we wrap up the stock market report, here's the currency trade for today.
CoreTV News Stock Market Report is brought to you by MTN.
MTN, everywhere you go.
Outside Nigeria, police and friends have identified and released the photographs of 2 brothers suspected to be involved in the attack on the offices of satirical newspaper Charlie Hebdo that left 12 people, including 4 cartoonists and 2 police officers, dead. The 2 brothers have been identified as 32-year-old Saeed Kouachi and 34-year-old Sharif Kouachi. The brothers, along with another person believed to be a teenage homeless man, carried out Wednesday's attack in the heart of Paris before escaping in a car. The getaway car was later found abandoned in northern Paris, from where the hooded gunmen hijacked a Renault Clio. Strong currents and poor visibility have prevented the recovery of the tail of an Air Asia plane carrying 162 people that crashed into the Java Sea. The rear part was seen by an unmanned underwater vehicle on Wednesday. The first significant debris found. Authorities believe it's upside down and partially buried, making removal difficult. The tail holds the crucial flight data, recorders which could reveal the cause of the 28 December crash. Time now to John Brownson Uwana for updates in the world of sport.
Our style, that's what he delivered. Here's that ball storming, now he takes Puyol with a flying lead.
Go, taking them out in the lead.
Thank you for joining me on our Sport News tonight. I am Brownson Uwana. Super Eagles began the year 2015 from where they left off the previous year as Nigeria stayed put on for the third spot in the world in the January FIFA rankings. The African champions also maintained the 9th position in Africa. The top 8 spots also remain unchanged as Algeria held on to the continent's first place and are trailed by Tunisia, Ivory Coast, Senegal, Ghana, Guinea, Cape Verde and Cameroon. On the global scene, Germany continued their lead in the summit with Argentina, Colombia, Belgium and Netherlands holding on to the top 5 spots. Brazil, Portugal, France, Spain and Uruguay complete the top 10. South Africa's sports minister said the country's national team had matured after qualifying to compete in the continent's most prestigious football tournament following 7 years in the wilderness. Bafana last qualified for the African Cup of Nations in 2008. South Africa are in a tough-looking Group C at the tournament alongside Algeria, the top side-ranked team in FIFA rankings, Senegal and the Black Stars of Ghana.
I think you have come of age now. You are taking us to AFCON. I've said it and I want to repeat it now. This is a special moment for South Africa. And I don't even remember the years. How many years we have not qualified to go to AFCON. Today we are going to AFCON as able competitors.
What has been said about the group of death and all that, it's a motivating factor on its own on the boys. We listen to them as they talk individually, passingly. They prepared. It will be good to play and beat the #1 nation in the continent.
Barcelona coach Luis Enrique insists he had no regrets over his handling of the Catalan star-studded squad this season amid reports of his relationship with Lionel Messi is at the brink of breaking up. Enrique left the 4-time World Player of the Year on the bench for Barcelona's 1-0 defeat to Real Sociedad on Sunday and wanted to discipline the Argentine after he missed an opening training session with the club's fan on Monday, citing a stomach bug.
I have got the same relationship I had at the beginning of the season with the players of the team. The same, it has not changed at all. Well, maybe we know each other a bit more. I have kept the same relationship since the beginning of the season, but it is improved to being here for longer. In that sense, there is no variation. On Monday, Rafa didn't come to training because of headache, and Leo Messi didn't come because of gastroenteritis. That is how we communicated it, and that is the reality. Jeremy Matthew couldn't train because either of ill problem. Yes, I have communicated with the president, but obviously I am not going to make any comment about certain things. I have not received an ultimatum. It will be the first time in my short career as a coach. Receiving an ultimatum is not a rare thing, but in this case, I am not sorry. I have not received any, and I face the game against Elche with the first trust and motivation that we are going to solve it and that we are going on a positive path.
Finally, on Sport News tonight, in the world of tennis, Ana Ivanovic recovered from an awful start to beat Kai Kanepi at the WTA Brisbane International on Thursday and remained on track for a glamour meeting with Maria Sharapova. Ivanovic looked anything but the world #7 as she lost the opening 5 games, prompting her coach to join her in an animated courtside chat. Ivanovic will now play America's Verena Laptichenko in Friday's semi-finals after she beat Alla Kadivetsova of Russia 7-5, 7-5. Top seed Sharapova was relieved to have cruised past an opponent who has given her problems in the past. And that's a wrap on our Sport News tonight. Very big thanks for watching. I am Brownson Uwana.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. And Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then news. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
CoreTV Primetime News tonight. A quick recap of our top stories. President Goodluck Jonathan has stormed Lagos to canvass support for his second-term bid. Revealed assassination attempt on his life by jailed MEND leader Henry Oka. We also reported tonight that APC-PDP trade words over oil sector reforms ahead 2015 elections. And the United States has ruled out disintegration of Nigeria in 2015. On behalf of everyone here, it's good night. Thank you for watching. I am Nifemi Oguntoye.